Welcome to Code Freedom. I'm your host, Eddie Bales. Have you ever felt stuck? Have you ever felt like there's got to be more than life than the reality that you see every day? Tune in weekly, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays as we crack the codes to freedom in every area of your life. Welcome to Code Freedom. I'm your host, Eddie Bales, and this is episode 25. In today's episode, we're talking about giving. Giving is a major code to freedom because, matter of fact, this is affirmation that I say, and it goes like this: I give because I have because I give, therefore I always live in abundance. And so here's the deal. If you have, let's just say you have a fist full of money in your hand and you're holding on to it real tight. Well, guess what? None's coming out, but guess what? None is coming in either. Because when you have a mindset of scarcity, then you tend to attract more scarcity in your life. But when you have a mindset of abundance, you tend to draw abundance back into your life. And so, one of my favorite scriptures, you've all heard it, Luke 6:38 says, "Give, and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, shall men give unto your bosom. For the measure you use it, it will be measured unto you," right? And so powerful scripture. I could probably list 10 other scriptures that talk about the same concept. It's a biblical thing. And it's a law, right? If you give, you got to receive, right? It's just what it is. But let me ask you guys a question. I want you to consider setting a goal where you can live off of 10% of your income and give away 90% of it. Wouldn't that be awesome? Right? Think of all the good you could do in the world. Think of all the people you can help and that you can bless. And you may think, oh, well, that's a small amount to live on. Listen, no, it doesn't have to be, right? I mean, imagine if you were able to live on, I don't know, just throwing a number out there, $1 million a month, right? But you earned more than $1 million a month, and the rest of it you just gave away, right? And hey, that's just a number. I mean, it could be any number, but my point that I'm saying is just imagine being able to give to charities and missionary works and, causes that you are passionate about, right? So giving is key, it's major. And again, you want to have a mindset to give because if you give, you shall receive. It's a law. It's, just like gravity. If you go up, you must come down. If you give, you must receive. But give not with the expectation that you're going to receive. Just give because it's the right thing to do. Give not out of compulsion and not out of guilt, right? But just give because it's out of your heart to do it, right? And so, a couple things on that though. Make sure you're giving in good ground. You don't want to be giving to situations where it's not fertile ground. It's not ground that is rooted in the right things. So you always want to be mindful. And a good way to do this is by checking the fruit. You can always know the root by the fruit, right? So you check the fruit, you know that the roots are good and it's in good ground. So, but just keep this in mind. When you give, you just feel good. You feel good because, sometimes you may think that you're giving to them, but really you give because it actually makes you feel good. It makes you feel good knowing that you could bless somebody else. And it makes you want to earn more. It makes you want to get better at what you're doing so that you can give more, right? So it's all a heart thing, though. At the end of the day, it's a heart thing, and it's something that you want to really just get yourself in a position where you can give on a major level, right? But it starts off by giving small. Who can you bless today? I know sometimes one of the things that I like to do is if I'm passing a toll booth, I like to pay for the person's toll behind me. sometimes I'm feeling really good. I'll pay for the next two or three people, right? So, just finding ways, where you can look to give. Like you're actually intentional about wanting to give because I'm telling you, once you understand this concept and you start to take advantage of it, you'll start seeing things come back into your life and don't even know where it came from. It's also the law of sowing and reaping. If you sow, you have to reap, right? And so these are laws that are not ever going away. And if you understand it, then it will bless you. That's why it's a big code to freedom. But at the end of the day, what good is having a bunch of wealth if you just hoard it and you just keep it all for yourself, right? Eventually you're just not going to feel good in your spirit because you didn't look for ways to be blessing the community and blessing the people around you, right? And so, yeah, obviously, you want to take care of your family. You want to make sure that all that is good. But in the process, what's the point? Like, yes, family's good. But after that, what's the next level? The next level is just making sure that your community is good, making sure that you can support causes. Just imagine that um, you know, you were able to give and pour into something, and just looking at the kids' faces and looking at the elderly, looking at the sick, looking at the poor, looking at the people who, because you gave, their life is better, right? I know one of my partners. They do scholarships every year, and one of the people that he gave a scholarship away to ended up going to the NFL. So just think about the impact you could have when you can give on a greater level, but it's got to start on a smaller level because, don't just think, oh, once I get a bunch of money, then I'm going to give big. No, 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 no. You got the wrong idea. You have to start with that heart first. You got to start with it where on the level that you're on right now, because all it is you're just going to keep growing that level. So once you give where you're at right now, you keep raising it up and raising it up and raising it up to a point where it just becomes a part of who you are and what you do. Right. So you got to start right now. You got to start where you are. And I want to challenge you all. I want to challenge everyone that's listening to find a way. And I'm going to do the same thing because I always like to practice what I preach. Right. So I want to encourage you tomorrow to go out there and find someone you can bless. One of my other partners or mentors, I should say, he has this thing called Wealth Wednesday. And I think I want to adopt that too, where every Wednesday they just find a way to bless somebody every single Wednesday. And so, look, it's not Wednesday today, it's Thursday. However, um, I would encourage you to do it. And then, man, I wish you'd tell me about it. Tell me about what you did and how it felt. And man, we could celebrate the fact that we're giving and we're blessing other people. And I'm telling you, the joy that once you experience that joy, you want it to continue. You want to continue um, to continue to edify and build up that muscle of being a giver, right? One thing that people have a misconception of when it comes to wealth is it's like, you give and you give and you give, and you get yourself in a position where you think that um, you have to have a lot of money to give, and that's not true, and that's not the case. You want to put yourself in a situation where um, you give on all levels, and it's not even just about money either. You can give of your time, you can give of resources. Hey, how many of you have clothes that you haven't worn in a long time and they're just sitting in the house? Take those things to Goodwill. Yes, you can sell them, but why not just take it to Goodwill? It doesn't have to be Goodwill. Take it to your church, take it to anywhere you think they could use it, right? So giving doesn't have to just be money. I do want to make sure I clarify that too, because giving transcends a multitude of facets. One of the best things you can do is give of your time. I remember when I lived in New York, one of the things I like to do is around Christmas time, we would just go to some of the hospitals. And, a lot of you don't know this, but I actually play the piano. And so I would bring my keyboard and I get some of my old high school friends because I went to an arts high school, and we would just play music and sing carols at the hospitals. And I can't not tell you the joy that I experienced was unexplainable, right? And so again, just go out there and give it a shot and tell me about it. If you got my number, text me. If you connected to me on social media platforms, DM me, anything, tag me, whatever. But I just want to know what you do and how did it feel to go out there and give and bless somebody else. And hey, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to make it my business to do it. And let's talk about it on the next episode. And let's make a bigger impact on the world, because we are growing ourselves. And as we grow ourselves, we grow everything around us. And that also includes our giving. So appreciate you guys for tuning in to this episode 25. And thanks for tuning in to Code Freedom. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you guys for listening. Definitely feel free to take a screenshot of this episode, tag me in it on Instagram or Facebook or wherever you find me on social media. I would love to give you a shout out. Hey, you might even get a prize. Who knows? But excited that you had a chance to take a listen. I hope you got a lot of value. And definitely feel free to give us 5 stars as well as a review. Show us some love, and we appreciate you. God bless you all, and see you all over the top.